Hi there people, welcome back. It is a Saturday evening. Tonight we are looking at GME and AMC. Two hyped up stocks which have seen a lot of growth in the past 5 days, but the question is this going to continue into next week and what can we expect? So of course we are doing a full analysis and forecast on Sunday, looking at what I can personally forecast happening going into the next week. But in this one, we are giving a bit of a reflection on the past week and talk about what I think of the situation so far. So of course, this is not financial advice, it is only just my opinion. However, if you may enjoy this episode, if you may enjoy the channel, do make sure to subscribe, as of course we do make stock market related videos every single day. And of course, it would be massively appreciated if you could join the family. Now that I have said that though, we are going to jump into this one, initially looking at both GME and AMC. So far, starting us off, AMC this week has been up massively. We're looking at gains of around 30%. Now this is the less hyped of the two stocks, but it is really starting to pick up quite a lot of traction right now, and I think this could be a fantastic thing. The 1 month chart is showing gains of about 97%, and people are really speculating on this stock, saying that it could go as high as $100, perhaps even $1,000. Well, I'm giving all of my opinions on that in just a moment. But first, let us look at how GME has been moving in the past 5 days. Well, GME saw a lot of growth this week as well. We can see that from the Monday up until this high point here on the Wednesday, I do believe, we were up over 113%. Then what we saw is a huge decrease in price, down by about 24% on one day. So that was a massive decrease. It happened in just a few moments, I do believe. So we can see that from around 12 to 12:30, this one dropped like a stone and, went down from about 331 all the way to about 248. And from that point there, we were pretty flat, but we are still moving up by around 6%. And the question right now for this stock is, could it be a buy, or could you avoid this stock, or should you avoid this stock? Because on Friday we are seeing a little bit of a downtrend, with the stock being down about 4% from 9:30 until 15:55, which was of course 3:55. So big decreases there that we are seeing, and we're going to be talking about that in just a second. So moving back on to AMC, let's have a look at what we have been brought in the past week or so. So looking at the past week, we are in the green, which is fantastic. Now this comes after a lot of growth in the past few months. We can see that from January alone, we are up by a massive amount, 455%. If you'd have bought this stock at this price down here of $2, you would have made an absolute fortune on the stock, and that is what a lot of people are still looking for. A lot of people are still looking to get into this stock, thinking that it could rise past the moon. Now obviously guys, I do think that there is some potential of this one happening. There is a very strong community behind both of these stocks, and people want to see GME and also AMC rocket to the moon, as it will make a lot of people a lot of money if they get in and get out at the right time. And of course, it's not guaranteed that it is going to go as high as people are speculating, but of course it isn't impossible. So yeah, I think right now the situation with AMC is pretty fantastic. I think where we are with AMC right now is similar to where we were with GME at the start, in the sense that GME of the two is the more hyped stock, right? We all know that this is true. Yes, AMC saw a huge break, similar in pattern to what we saw with GME, but of course, looking at AMC's break in price, it was nowhere near as steep as it was with obviously GME. So of course, there was quite a big difference there. I think because of that, we definitely are in a much stronger position with AMC to see future growth, because right now we are already seeing a lot of the papers, the radio stations, and all of these mainstream medias talking about GME. Now this has brought a lot of attention to the stock, don't get me wrong, but on the other hand, we are not seeing this happen as much with AMC. And I do believe that if this one does continue to gain traction as it is, or as it will, or as it has been doing, we can be seeing a lot more attention becoming present on AMC. I think there is a high possibility of this happening in the next few weeks and months, because like I said, the people behind this stock do not want to see it go down. The people behind it are very optimistic. They are pouring a lot of money into this. Whether you think that is good or bad, I will let you decide, but you'd be wrong if you said that there wasn't a strong following behind both of these stocks. I think right now we could be looking at some great things coming for both, but specifically AMC right now, I think we are in a fantastic position and we could see a lot of growth, because honestly, what we need to remember with AMC, yes, it is quite low in price, but I think people become a bit, negative and pessimistic looking at how it has been moving in the past week or month or so. I think it is important to remember that with GME even, we didn't reach this high point, we didn't reach this extreme explosion overnight. I mean, yes, it did go up from the 22nd up until the 27th by a huge amount, and that was only a few days, don't get me wrong, but of course prior to that we were seeing slow and steady growth, and of course the people who held then made the most money, and that is important to note. So of course it's not impossible, like I said, that this one could continue to rise, but again, I would definitely be patient with this one because you could be seeing bigger gains over the more long-term frame. But again, it is quite risky, and that is something to remember. But this time we are seeing the growth build up a bit more slowly, a bit more stably, and I think if this does continue, we're in a much better position than where we are, rather where we were with this stock previously, and also with GME. So again, stable growth in my eyes is better. It shows people are gaining interest over time rather than losing it, and that is good. Now that I spoke a lot then about AMC, let us move on to GME. So like I just mentioned, this one is the more hyped of the two stocks. So we had that Reddit article come out around this point here, where they were talking about the majority of people still holding shares in both AMC and GME. I think this sparked off a lot more attention as people realise, you know what, there is a potential to squeeze these stocks again. And of course GME was the most hyped one in the first place, and that obviously helped it in the second round and sent it flying even higher. So now we are looking at a bit more stable growth, but in the past few days this one has been picking up massively. From the 5th of March alone up until now, we've seen gains close to 100%, which is insane, and that just shows how many people are behind this one and what people are thinking about this stock. Now another thing to note with both of these is of course the stimulus checks, which are coming out pretty soon, I do believe, and it is important to note that because even though it may not be the correct thing to do, again I will let you decide, it is true that a lot of people are going to be using this money to pour into stocks, GME and AMC included, and again this money is seen as free to a lot of people and could send the share prices of both up even further. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see growth in both of these stocks. But GME right now is slowing down a little bit. Now again, that is not necessarily a bad thing. We are still up about 8% from this low here, which does still indicate to some growth, which is fantastic. And I think going forwards into the next week, I would like to see this one climb again. If we weren't to see this one climb again, I would be quite concerned about it, but of course 1 or 2 days in the red is not necessarily a bad thing. But if it was to dip on Monday, I definitely would avoid it. And again, in tomorrow's episode, we're going to give a full analysis and prediction onto both of these stocks into next week. But into this one, we're just looking at what could potentially happen and what has happened in the past week. So again, we already know there is a strong following behind both of these stocks. I think this could boost both of them even further into the sky. I have seen targets for GME as high as $900 and perhaps even for AMC as high as $1,000. I think both of these aren't unbelievable, but they definitely are on the high side, and that is ultimately what people do need to remember, and that is just my opinion, guys. But yeah, that was just my quick opinion related video on what we have seen in the past week. Again, if you do want to join us at a similar time tomorrow night, we'll be looking at what I think could happen into next week, so please do stick around for that. Other than that though, thank you for watching this one. Have a wonderful weekend, have a wonderful evening, and of course get some rest. I will see you in tomorrow's episode.